Well, hello and welcome to our front yard garden in the South Carolina upstate. This is episode number 8 for 2025, and it is Sunday morning. I usually do these in the afternoon or evening, it's April 6th, 2025. Pleasant day. We had the hottest day of the year yesterday. Hit 85 degrees, but right now it's about 70, very pleasant. It's supposed to rain this afternoon, but decent amount of cloud cover, so that actually should bring out the color pretty nicely with today's tour. So we're going to get started here. We always start with the mailbox bed, and I tend to not talk about our clematis as often, sort of take it for granted, but this year it's having some problems that I haven't really talked about before. You see it draped here over the mailbox, but it's not looking as robust as it should. The leaves are kind of curled up, and looking closely at it, it has a parasite. You can kind of see on the underside of the leaves here, aphids or something like that. Although I have a feeling it's something, I'm not an expert on plant parasites, but I think it's something a little more destructive, because the clematis usually by now has buds all over it, and there really are very few, if any, buds on this plant. It just does not look healthy. Don't know exactly what is going to happen with this. I sprayed it last week and again yesterday with 7, which is an excellent pesticide. It gets a lot of different types of garden pests. But the plant has really not improved, and a lot of, especially on this side, a lot of what you see here is just dead. So it may have run its, the extent of its life. We may have to take it out if it doesn't flower this year, and put in a new one and let it grow in its place. Now, with that one not doing so well, we have another clematis down here that is doing a little bit better. This maroon one has a lot of buds on it, but it also does appear to have some of the aphids and so forth. So this one is, I wouldn't say it's exactly thriving. The leaves have some spots on them, so got some problems here that we're going to have to deal with at some point, and we may have to just take both of those out and start all over again. Time will tell, but the nice thing is that clematis is a rapidly growing vine, so if we do get new ones, they should take over for the old ones very quickly. So it's not like something that you have to wait years and years for. Now, this little plant here, this is a little tiny rose that has somehow survived now for about, I think, 5 or 6 years. It's about as small as it could get. I mean, you have the little stump down there and then a few leaves, but it does have this big bud on it, and it gives very fragrant lavender colored flowers when it opens up. But it's got some parasites on it as well. Not sure what, appears to be a different sort of parasite, more of a white color as opposed to the others that are green. So we may need to get some 7 on that as well. Now, in the rest of the bed here, things are a little more favorable. We have lilies coming up. Certainly have this beautiful hybrid tulip here. Very small, only about 6 inches tall, but beautiful nonetheless. And then we have some irises coming up. And of course, these tulips over here, they're just about finished. Another day or two and they'll be done. But as I say, we're supposed to get quite a bit of rain and even some thunderstorms in the next day or so. So if we get a lot of wind, those will probably be finished up right away. Over here, our creeping phlox still doing very, very well. And I think they peaked maybe a week ago. So they're going to be on the decline over the next couple of weeks and then be finished up. It's one of the fascinating things about this time of year is you tend to go from one bloom to another very quickly, and a lot of A lot of our spring flowers are already done. Certainly all the early stuff like daffodils, tulips, daffodils and hyacinths and crocus all long gone, even though it's still the first week of April. Now these, I don't know the name of these offhand. They're beautiful little pink flowers, and we get quite a few of them in here. But I can't name them. Then we have our petite knockout rose here doing very well. Looks like it even has a few little aphids, but overall it's doing extremely well. Looks like it's doing maybe a little bit better than last year. It's starting to get some flowers on it. Nice greenery, although there's one little area over here that's starting to get some yellow on it, so that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. And then over here we have dianthus that's doing really well, fully in bloom right now, as they tend to do this time of year, but they'll continue to give us off and on several flowers a month, really through the end of the growing season. So it's a nice, it's a bright flower, very low maintenance. It just comes back every year and does very well. Now we have a huge weed here. I actually sprayed this. I sprayed this bed a couple days ago. It did not respond. Usually those types of weeds do respond really well to being sprayed with Roundup, and for whatever reason that one did not. So it'll get hit again. Got some creeping Jenny here, this light green ground cover plant, and got some Asiatic lilies and other things coming up. We've got our big climbing rose here. We continue to have a lot of trouble with this because of the trellis, which every time we get a stiff wind, it falls over. Hasn't damaged the plant yet, but it will at some point, and we really don't have a long-term solution for that yet. But when that starts to give us nice red flowers, it'll be worth the trouble. Here we have more climbing roses. Similar problems with the trellis. We don't have anything with the bricks to anchor the trellises up against the wall. And actually this one is starting to fall outward a little bit, but the plants themselves are doing pretty well. We've got some buds, and again, some parasites on them, but we will be getting some flowers before too long. These climbing roses have not done overall as well as some of the others, so I've not been a huge fan of these, but the clematis is doing absolutely great, and you can see it's just about to burst forward. Lots of these buds, so this thing is going to be really colorful very shortly. Got some irises that are getting ready to pop here very soon. Hydrangeas are really starting to leaf out now, and we're starting to see this week the very first appearance of some of the flower buds. But that'll be at least another month before those break out, and we'll have nice big pink and blue flowers. And speaking of buds, on our lemon trees here, we just had some flowers a couple of months ago that finished up, and now we've got a whole crop of new buds here, doing very well. These two small plants survived the winter pretty favorably. It looks like we've got a few on this plant as well. Hopefully we'll get some cross-pollination and we can actually get some lemons for once. Meanwhile, our main lemon tree that's been growing for years did not do too well with the winter. I think it may be done. I'm just kind of hanging on to it to see what it does down the road, but I'm really not going to put a whole lot of effort into it. We really have not had any great success. It's never put out too many flowers. It's really been just more trouble than it's worth. And then kind of the same thing for our orange here. I have yet to ever see a single bud on this one. I mean, overall the plant has done reasonably well. It didn't like the cold winter, but it's still hanging in there for the time being, for what that's worth. And then we have, I don't know what these are. They look very much like lilies of the valley, but they're more of a pink color instead of white. And they don't have the characteristic fragrance of lilies of the valley. which is, if you're ever playing Trivial Pursuit and someone asks what is my favorite spring flower, it's gonna be lilies of the valley. That fragrance reminds me of being a kid, and it's they're just really pretty, and unfortunately they don't last very long, but they're really neat little flowers. Around these, you can see all the ajuga, the blue flowers that are sticking up. They're really kind of at their peak right now. We have one area over there, and then we have some scattered ones elsewhere, and then another big colony of them here. And they're giving us some more flower. We've got some more creeping Jenny here. It's coming back from last year. Lots of Asiatic and stargazer lilies. Same thing over here. I think these are all stargazers. And then some gladiolus that my wife put in our first episode back in February. So after only about 2 months, they're already up and doing well. It'll probably be another month at least until we get some flowers, though. Now here we have our big crop of snapdragons, all pink ones. I put these in about 4 years ago, I believe, and had about 12 of them all along here. These are the only ones that have really survived, and they've done very well, and it looks like this year will be no exception. They do tend to decline as the years go by, but so far this particular group is doing really well. Now behind all of that, we have our viburnum that is now fully in bloom. One thing I've noticed with our viburnum here in the front is that they are collectively producing far fewer flowers than last year, and I don't know the reason for that. We have 4 big flower clusters on this plant, and the others have just a handful. I don't know, that's about half the number that we usually get. Nice bright purple tulip here, kind of hidden behind everything else. I'm just wondering, again, I'm not an expert on any of these plants, but I'm wondering if the cold winter had something to do with the fewer number of flowers this year. But I mean, the plants themselves have gotten to be pretty big. It's hard to see on this video, but you know, overall they're about, I'd say 8 to 10 feet tall, and you can actually see where there were flowers last year, probably 3 or 4 times as many as what we have now. So not sure what's behind that, but hopefully next year, if we have a little more mild winter, will be a little better crop. Now our azaleas are starting to come out. We have both light pink and dark pink, and I think we have a few more out here by the road, and there are a lot of buds, so that we're going to be getting more of these before long. Some of our neighbors, if we look down this way, have really significant numbers of flowers, and we've never been able to achieve that, but then ours are not in the direct sun. That does make a difference. Now this is all brush that I've picked up from the road, or from the garden. I've been doing a lot of spring cleanup this weekend. The weather's been really nice, and out here by the street we have our 5 knockout roses. They appear to be really doing well. I'm not seeing any parasites, lots and lots and lots of buds. So these should be just covered with red flowers like these very shortly, maybe in another week or 2. And we have irises here. Some are already gone. The white ones always bloom the first, and then purple after that. And then we have some little Dutch irises down in here that'll come later. And our big butterfly bush here that I chopped back. This thing was about 10 feet tall, but it was kind of outgrowing its ability to do well, so decided to cut back and see what would come of it. And so far it looks like it's doing okay. We'll see what kind of flowering we get later on in the year. And then over here you can see the orange spray paint. We're going to be getting mulch on the garden hopefully sometime this week, depending on how the weather goes. And I've tried to spray grass to get it to back down before that comes about. But we'll take a look here. We've got our grape hyacinths. They've long since peaked. We'll get maybe another week or two of color, and then they'll be done. We don't know, my wife and I, neither of us know that this is a type of phlox, but we're not sure what kind. These purple wildflowers, they're beautiful. We really enjoy them. And then this is candy tuft, doing extremely well. And a few more grape hyacinths, irises, and some dahlias in here. Iris is about to bloom. And then back in here we have monarda, these just leafy green plants. Those will give us some nice red flowers, probably late May, early June. More lilies coming up from bulbs. And then over here we start to get into our knockout roses, which are just starting to come out. Very low maintenance. It's one thing that's nice about them. Now here we have the remains of a kind of a wild morning glory variant that grew up into the plant last year. Probably should take that off. And on the back side here we've got some basically another cutting bed, some more irises, gladiolus, a lot of monarda over here, and big tea rose here. This rose, we're going to have to do something, hopefully before too long, because the whole thing is kind of tipped over to the side. Don't know how well you can see that. So the whole thing is kind of growing sideways off into this area, and it kind of gets in the way of the lilies. So it's something we're going to have to deal with sooner than later. But that'll be for another day. So that is, for the most part, our front yard. Lots of stuff going on, and lots of color right now. We're going to keep getting more color as the spring progresses. And that's it. We're going to do our backyard garden here in just a second, so hope it's sunny wherever you are. And until next time, happy gardening.